Well, it's Sunday night, and we've seen a lot of action in the waterfront Gulf access properties. We're going to run through them right now. These are the recent solds. Stacy went under contract. It was asking 175. It sold for 225, 50 grand over the asking price in 3 days. This one was listed at 250 and it sold for 225. Another flood home in 5 days. Janita had been under contract prior to the storms. It was asking 374.9 and it sold October 15th, 6 days after Milton, for $320,000. Flora Avenue did not flood, but it closed prior to Helene for $400,000 on the Anclote River. Sea Pines flooded, but this is a stilt home. It sold for $750,000 between Helene and Milton, and this sold for $906,000, actually over the asking price, and it closed 4 days after Helene and about 11 days before Milton. All right, so it's not so interesting what's sold. I mean, it is, the first two are very interesting. Let's look at the 29 properties on the water that are under contract. Cabin Court flooded terribly. They're asking 124.9. It went under contract in 2 days. Coxswain flooded. It went under contract in 0 days. Now, we don't know the prices on these, but it'll be very interesting. Beacon Court, Signal Cove flooded. Went under contract when they're asking 149,000. Look at, they put water intrusion as opposed to flooding. Summers flooded, asking 199,000. Went under contract and was under contract in 6 days. Harbor Drive, 8 days to go under contract at 200 grand. This is on the Anclote River and it's a stilt home, but it went under contract in 14 days. It's a long way to the Gulf if you're talking about Gulf access. In fact, I don't think you can take a boat. You're talking about a kayak or something small, a John boat maybe. $249,000 for Hatteras in 1 day. Waterfront fixer-upper, accepting backups. Mako went under contract. It was on the 359 days, and it went under contract on October 10th. 359 days. They were asking 269 at the time that it went under contract. Berkowitz, Hudson Beach, $270,000, went under contract on, actually went under contract September 30th, 4 days after Helene. Hudson Beach Estates, Bernard, we talked about this, $298,000, went under contract on October 22nd, 5 days ago from now. It had been on the market for 132 days. Rio Drive flooded, went under contract in 3 days. They were asking $330,000. This is a river frontage. This is actually a really nice area. And when my baby goes to Rio, probably shouldn't sing. All right, 3 days, go under contract at 330, 1,200 square feet. Shoreview Drive, we talked about this one in Harbor Isles got crushed. It was listed at $350,000. It was on the market for 250 days. It went under contract last Sunday. So that was after Helene and after Milton. Leslie Drive on the market for 76 days, this time at $380,000. It went under contract October 3rd, 6 days before Milton. But we had no Milton flooding in anywhere on north of Tampa. What we had was freshwater flooding from Milton that occurred starting 2 days after Milton, and that's a whole nother subject. But these properties in Hudson did not have Milton flooding. $400,000 in Vista Del Mar for a stilt home. It was on the market for 85 days and it went under contract 9/11, which is September 11th, which is actually prior to Helene. Helene was September 26th. Chancellor did not flood, but it is asking $419,000. Spoonbill in Gulf Harbor Sea Forest was on the market for 17 days at $425,000. Now, it's likely that it did not flood, but it went under contract July 2nd. Huh. Well, that sure is an awfully long time to be under contract. I always want to say, story, there's a story. We don't know the story. 430 days. This did not flood. 93 days on the market. No hurricane damage. Yeah, we know Rushmore was within a foot or something of getting flooded. Pleasure Isles, 116 days on the market, was under contract at $449. That went under contract on September 15th, 9 days before. So these ones that went under contract prior to the storm, you have to wonder if they'll ever close. $495,000 for Pelican. This went under contract on May 15th and still hasn't closed. Hatteras, 167 days in the market, asking $500,000. It went under contract October 21st. Very interesting to see what these transactions actually occurred. Hatteras, $539,000. It went under contract on September 20th, 6 days prior to Helene. Gulf Harbors, 37 days on the market, went under contract on September 25th, 1 day before Helene. Janita, $545,000, went under contract October 17th after both storms, and I do believe this flooded a bit, and I ponder what this thing is going to sell for. $307 a square foot when it went into contract. Gulf Harbors, Florimar. I keep calling Gulf Harbors, Florimar Gulf Harbors. $580,000 on the market for 263 days. Went under contract a month before Helene and still hasn't closed. Fair Lane is Stilt Home, Bonita in Gulf Harbors, $600,000. Went under contract October 26th, a month after Helene. That was yesterday. Hatteras and Sea Pines, Stilt Home. Very nice home. Anyway, there's 29 properties that are now pending on the water with Gulf access, either on the river or on the canal frontage. You are now up to date, although I didn't do the actives. Let's do the actives just to see what's listed since we last spoke. So we'll do 0 minus 7. So in the last 7 days, there have been 10 properties that have been listed that did not go under contract. Starboard was listed 4 days ago. Water intrusion. Signal Cove makes that a mobile home. There's a block home for $200,000. Went under contract in 4 days. It's been listed for 4 days. Birch Street this is Gulf frontage. You can't really see the Gulf because of the salt marsh, but this is an interesting property. You can see there's nothing in front of it from the in front of the Gulf. The AC did not flood. This is $290,000. There is a picture that shows what the view would be like if you. It's frozen. Go. Okay. This is what the view would look like if you were high enough to see over I want to say fescue, but that's not what it is. It's salt marsh. Anyway, this is listed for 2 days. Osprey is a stilt home, $325,000, been listed for 6 days. Here's one on Florimar, definitely flooded, $349,000. Home minimally flooded, Seller's not completing any restorations for $350,000. Here's $350,000, also in Florimar. Your time to rebuild. This is 2 days on the market this time. Susan, $350,000 on the market for 2 days. Definitely got wet. Gulf Harbor's Woodlands may or may not have gotten wet. McRae definitely flooded over there, but this is what year was this built? 2007. So this is not. Look at this, flood insurance under $700 annually. And the reason is because this is not built out downstairs. The downstairs here is not built out, allegedly. I see so many of them that are not supposed to be built out that are, but this is a pool home for $650,000 in Cape Cay. Wow. Hudson Beach, King Avenue, $750,000, been listed for 5 days. Whether you're a water enthusiast, a renovation guru, or simply someone who appreciates the potential for greatness, this property is calling your name. Two-bedroom, two-bath home in Hudson Beach for $750,000. Oh, it's got this great big garage next door. Oh, and it needs a roof. Wow. Speechless. Randy Jenkins here. Appreciate you guys watching my videos. Wish you the best.